Okay, guys, welcome to week 3. I hope you are all ready for this week. So this week we're going to be looking at functions, the try catch methods, how to catch errors in a much simpler and better way. Right. We're also going to look at reading and writing to files and also JSON. Okay. So for today, we're only going to look at functions. Right. So by the end of this lesson, you guys are supposed to be able to explain what a function is, create and call your own functions, understand parameters and arguments, use return values, create functions with default parameters, and after the lesson, I hope you guys will try your own simple project with using functions. Okay, so are you guys ready to begin? Okay, great. Let's go ahead. I'll create a day 11 dot hi. So but learning about functions. Right. So a function is one of the most important concepts in programming. In any programming language, it's one of the most important concepts. As programs become bigger, we often find ourselves writing the same code many times. Instead of repeating the code ourselves, we place that code inside something called a function. Right? So, for example, think of a function like a coffee machine, right? When you want coffee, you don't build a coffee machine every time. You simply press a button and it prepares the coffee for you. Functions also work the same way. You can easily repeat the code without writing it. So we write the instructions once, give the function a name, and whenever we need those instructions again, we simply call the function. So a function, it makes our programs easy to read, easy to fix, and easy to reuse. So I hope by the end of this lesson, you guys will be able to create your own functions, right, and use them to solve our problems. Right. Okay. So let's go ahead. So a function is simply okay. So a function is simply a reusable block of code. Yes, Mr. Changa.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to confirm what's on day 10. I can see you're already on day 11.
Day 10 is the project from last week, the one that was
Okay,
going
that's
to look
okay.
at.
That's okay. Thank you.
Okay, great. Right. So a function is simply a reusable block of code. Instead of writing the same instructions over and over, we store them inside a function. Whenever we need those instructions, we simply call the function. Right. So here's another example. Example number 2. Think of your phone. When you tap the camera app, you don't write the camera software every time, right? The phone already has that function stored, and tapping the icon simply runs that function. That is exactly how functions work, right? So To create a function, we use the def keyword, right? So whenever Python sees the def keyword, it now knows that this is a function. We're now creating a function. Then followed by the function name. It can be anything. It can be any name depending on what you are going to write inside the function. Then followed by your round brackets and then your colons, right? And then everything that's indented under this def keyword belongs to this function. For example, print, let's say print this is a function. Okay, let me call the function, right? I'm now running the code. See, it printed as this is a function. So this is just a basic function to show you how you create a function. So we use the def keyword, the name of the function, followed by the round brackets, and then everything indented under this def keyword falls under the function. Then when you want to run your function, you just have to call it, the name of the function and the round brackets. Okay, so any questions on how you create a function and how you call it? So no questions. Alright, so this keyword def, it means define a function, right? So after def, we give our function a name, right? In this example, we called it greet. And remember, a function always has these round brackets. Right? So these brackets are required even when there is no information to pass into the function. Right? Yes, Alan?
I want to ask to give a function name, any name like we do on variables.
Yes, that's correct. Any name.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So this line is indented, right? Remember that indentation is very important in Python. Everything indented under this first line of code belongs to the function. And then we have our greet. This is what you call calling a function, right? If we remove greet, this function is not going to run. Nothing is going to happen. For it to run, we have to call it. And so the code inside this function only runs when you call the function, right? Any questions on how to create a function? So I'll take that as yes, that everyone understands how we create a function and how we run it. Yes, Mr. Changa.
Yeah. So I wanted to confirm. You said the function is simply a reusable block of code.
Yes, that's
So I wanted
correct.
to confirm where exactly is the going to be inserted. Is it going to be inserted on line 3 def greet open bracket, then you insert your line of code, or is it going to be created on line 4, for example? On line 4.
You mean where are we going to insert?
Let's say I build the whole code with everything, with the loops and etc. etc. And then I want to capture that, or I want to store that in a function.
If you want to store that in a function, do you see that? Do you see line number 3 where we created our function,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Yes.
Underneath, under this indented block of code, this is where you now store your loops and everything.
It's okay.
Okay, so you have to
It's
make sure that
balanced.
you indent it by 4 spaces, right?
Okay.
Okay, so anyone with questions on how to create a function and how to call it? Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so sometimes we want a function to work with different information, right? Instead of creating many functions, we give the function information when we call it. That information is called an argument, right? So that information is called what? An argument. Okay, let me comment this out. Okay, let's create another function, def user name, right? Do you guys notice that by just writing the name it's just white, right? But once I put the round brackets, the color of the name changes, right? So this shows that without these round brackets, this is not a function. You can have the def keyword, but nothing is going to happen, right? Then we put our colon at the end. Then inside these round brackets, this is where we put our argument, right? Let's say name. Let's call it name, right? So let's say print hello name. Let's great then great. Okay, if I run this code, what do you guys think it's going to happen? Anyone wants to take a guess? What's going to be printed on my terminal? Who wants to take a guess? Anyone?
I'm failing to raise my hand here, but let me just take a guess.
Mm.
I think it's gonna print hello, then this is the function.
No, looking at this function, this one
Oh, this one.
is the second one.
Okay. Did you do it right?
Take your
I
time.
was still using the one on top also.
Okay. See, I could
because
this.
there's
Okay. My mistake. So it's supposed to be username. Okay, username. Yeah. So we're now working well with the second function.
Alright, yeah.
So what do you think is going to be printed on the terminal?
Okay, so it's gonna write hello, then hello Brandon. Since hello is in quotes there. It's I think I don't know if you run it first, you're gonna input your name, then it's gonna say hello Brandon. I don't know, that's my guess.
Like, okay, you are correct. It's going to print hello Brandon, hello Allen, but it's not going to ask the user to input their name, because
The
we
name,
have already inputted the name in these round brackets. So this is what.
okay.
So when we are creating our function and we want to pass information, if we want to pass variables into that function, this is what we call arguments or parameters, right? So now when we call this function, it's going to expect a parameter or an argument inside it, right? So let me run the code. You see, it printed hello Brandon, hello Allen, right? Let's see what's going to happen if I remove one parameter. I'm now running the code again. See, missing one required positional argument name. So if your function here's a parameter, always make sure that whenever you are calling it, you also include that parameter. Right. Right. So here this word name is called a parameter, right? So a parameter is simply a variable waiting to receive information. So the function is receiving information from outside the function. So we take that this parameter and use it inside our function, right? And then print hello name. The function prints whatever value is stored inside inside this variable name, right? Then here we have username Brandon. This is the argument. So the argument is the real value we sent into the function, right? So here we have username Allen. The function works with another name. We didn't have to create another function. We just reused the same function, right? Any questions so far before I go ahead? Yes, Mr. Ajanga.
Yeah, so I just wanted to confirm if the parameter can be any type of any data type, boolean, integer.
Yes.
Parameter.
Yes. Okay. Let's try it. Let's say 1. Let's see. See, it already underlined. No, it's not. Okay. Let's try a list. Okay. No, a list. No. So it can only be a variable. Okay. So do you understand? Here, the parameter here, you can only put a name, a variable.
Okay. My point was, let's say on line 11 and 12. Can we then? I understand on line 8 and 9 we declared the variable name. Is it?
Yes.
On line 11 and 12, can we then say username, open brown bracket, then insert a number or a boolean instead of inserting a string Brandon? That was my question.
Okay, let's find out. So username 1. Okay, let me comment this one out. I'm now running the code. Hello 1. So let's use a list. So our argument is now a list, right? Is this variable the name of the list? Let's see, I'm now running the code. It printed it as it is.
Yeah.
So then inside your function, you know that you are working with a list. Then you can take that list and do whatever you need to do inside that function.
I understand. Thank you.
So did that answer your question?
Yeah. Perfectly. Thank you.
Anyone with a question? Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's look at return values. Let me comment this out. Right. So sometimes we don't want a function to print something like what we're doing here. Print hello name. Print this is a function. Sometimes we don't want it to print that, right? Instead, we want it to give us a value back. This is called returning a value. For example, we can have we're creating our function def. Let's call our function add, and then our parameters a, b, and then our colon, return a plus b. Right, and also our parameters, it can take as many variables as you want, as long as you are going to use those variables inside your inside the function. You can add as many variables as you want. So the variables are separated by a comma. So if you're adding multiple variables as parameters, always separate them by a comma. Right. So let's say result equals to add 5 8, print result. Okay, so what do you guys think is going to be printed if we run this code? Who wants to take a guess? Okay, are you guys still with me, or are getting lost?
Yeah, but things are getting complicated.
Okay.
Let me give it a try. The result will print 5 8a plus b.
So it's going to print it's going to add 5 plus 8 and then print the total.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. There you go. Exactly, that's what it did. So imagine you're working with a calculator. So imagine if you had to add the values one by one. You're supposed to say 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 2. You can just use a function with the return keyword, right? So you can now then call the function whenever the user inputs a value. You can just call the function. So it makes it easy and nice to read, and it's going to make your code readable, and it's also going to be easy for you, right? Yeah. Instead of complicating it, adding multiple lines of code, adding everything one by one, you can just simply use a function. Just reuse this function over and over as many times as you want. Right.
Sorry, can I ask?
Yes, you can.
Sorry, my I don't know why I cannot raise my hand. So I wanted to ask. Let's say it's a list with a mixture of integers and strings. Will it be able to add the same as we did here? Let's say there's you say, oh, it's not possible to mix as integer and a string, right?
No, it's not.
It's not. Because before we used to make lists with integers. I don't know if you remember
It,
at one point.
yes, I do remember,
Mhm.
but it's not going to be able to.
It's-
Okay, go ahead.
it's okay. Go ahead and explain.
So this is just the same as doing 1 plus 1.
Okay.
It's still the same, but the difference is that instead of hard coding the numbers, you are now changing those numbers into variables, and then you can have a equals to 7, b equals to 5, or you can simply just say a equals to input function, ask the user to enter the numbers, right?
Mm,
So this is this is just making your code more flexible for you. Instead of hard coding the numbers everywhere, you can put them
okay.
inside the function, right?
All right.
Right. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you answered it. Thank you.
Okay. So eh, yes, Alan.
Ndanda kubvunza kuti andishandisa return hapana need yekuzoenda futi pazasi takunoti like zvataita vanga tichishandisa uya printer.
No, you don't have to. This is going to be the end of your function.
Okay.
This is comes at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone with questions? So, no questions. Okay. So the difference between using print and return is that print only displays information on the terminal, right? But the return keyword, it sends information back to whoever called the function, right? So we all understand that. No questions so far.
Sorry, you can repeat what you just said.
Well, the difference between return and the print function.
Yes.
So print it displays information on the terminal, and then return it sends information back to whoever called the function, right?
Okay. So return is different from just calling the function like what we did on line 6. Line 6.
No, it's still the same. This is how you still call the function, but the difference is that when you call the function, it's not going to just print this, it's going to return information back to you. Then you take that information and do something with it. I don't know if you understand me.
No, I don't think
Okay.
I'm failing to understand.
Okay, it's fine. You are going to understand it as we go. What the difference between print and return?
Yeah, it's okay.
Just like for when we say print break. Whenever you use this print, this is also a function. So inside Python, there is this def print, and then so there's this there's a function like this, right? Instead of us writing our own code to print something on the terminal, we just reuse this function over and over. We just call it. Even we have this list equals to 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we say my list dot sort. This is also a function. The difference is that we are using functions that were already built by other developers, and then here we are now building our own functions that we can use, we are going to reuse in our code.
Okay. Okay. Yo, it's okay.
So
It's okay. I think I'm getting it.
So are you guys now getting it? So all along we've been using functions. All these are what you're calling the methods, are your list methods or dictionaries. Those are all functions that were created by other developers. We are just reusing them. So today we're learning how to create our own functions and then reuse them later on somewhere in our code.
So are you saying, okay, you said these are just functions, it's like sort, dot sort, you are saying it was a function that was created by another developer.
That's correct.
Is it not a Python function?
No, it's a Python function that was created by another developer. Remember that Python was also created by developers.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. So
That's okay.
they created a Python, then they created the functions and put them inside Python. So when you installed Python, it came with all of these functions.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me comment this out. Right. Then you also have what you call default parameters. Right. So we only talked about this parameter, the variable parameter, right? We also have what you call default parameters. Default parameters. I say def grid to name equals Stan. All right. Printer right. So this is a default parameter, right? So it also has this variable name with the value 10 assigned it, right? So we created a variable, then assigned a value to it. Then inside the function we have a print function that prints hello, and the variable name, right? Then when you code the function, the first time we code it, we didn't put any arguments. Then the second time we code the function, but this time we put an argument. All right. So anyone wants to take a guess what's going to happen if we run the code? Here's Mr. Ajanga.
Yeah, I think it's going to print. It's going. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I was saying I think it's going to print. It's going to print name. Okay, it's going to print hello Stan for the first time. Then for the second time, it's going to print hello Angela.
Okay. Why do you think it's going to print hello Stan for the first time and then hello Angela for the second time?
Yeah, I think on line 27 we code the function as it is. And our function grid 2, we created, I don't know, a variable name, and we assigned a value to it. And then on line 25, we printed hello, then the name of the function. Therefore, as a result, it's going to print hello Stan for the first time. Then on line 28, we code the function, but then we introduced, I don't know, maybe is it an argument to replace Stan with Angela? That is why it's going to print hello Angela for the second time. That's my reasoning.
Okay, let's run the code. Okay, I'm now running the code. First time it printed hello Stan, and then the second time it printed hello Angela. So a default parameter, it simply means that whenever we call the function and there is no name provided, Python is going to use the default value, this one, right? Or if we provide the name when calling the function, Python replaces the default value with the argument that was inserted by the user when you call the function. Okay. So if you want to use the default value, just in case if the user is not going to insert any arguments, then you can use default parameters, right? Then when you call that function, you can override the default parameter with the argument that you want, right? Any questions on default parameters? Any questions? So no questions. Okay. Before we do a mini exercise, does anyone have a question on how to create a function, how to call it, what are parameters, arguments, the return keyword, and default parameters? Anyone with a question? Here's Mr. Changa.
So I don't know if it's possible, Mr. Kumalo. Maybe the exercise. Are we doing the exercise today?
Yes, today.
I don't know how much time is it going to consume. But if you would just read that code, like when you started writing it, just explaining, or maybe just explaining what each line is exactly doing. I think for the sake of some of us, because if it's possible, just to browse it.
Okay.
We jump into the exercise.
From the start of the code, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Here's Alan. Alan, do you have a question?
No, sir.
No. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes, Mr. Changa.
Or maybe if you want, maybe I can try to explain. I can try to explain each line of code, and then you can correct me. I won't take much of the time when I fail to explain it.
That's even much better.
Okay. So on line 3, I'm starting from line 3.
Yes.
We defined our function create.
Correct.
And then on line 44, on line 4, sorry, that is our function, is it?
Yes, it is.
Then we called it on line 6.
That's correct.
Then it printed this is a function.
That's correct.
Then on line 8, parameters. I don't know what exactly what was going on, but I understand that we created a function called username.
Correct.
Then that is when when we created the function called username, we inserted a value to that function. I don't know what is that. What
This
that name value?
this variable is called a parameter.
Okay, so we inserted a parameter in that function.
That's correct.
Okay, then we on line 10 print hello the parameter.
That's correct.
So if we call that function, we have to. Is it after that we didn't call that function? Did we? We didn't call the function username.
Yes,
Okay,
oh,
we
we
called it
did.
at the bottom.
Yes.
We called it at the bottom. All right, I'm sorry about that. We called it on line 13 and 14.
That's correct.
So, maybe if you can kindly guide me, what transpired on line 12? I understand that is a list, but what were we trying to achieve there on line 12?
Oh, line 12. Okay, let me uncomment this. So, this is a parameter, right?
Yes.
And this is an argument. Right? So, when you call this function, it expects an argument. So, you have to pass in an argument, right? So, here we wanted to see what's going to happen if our argument is not a string, or if our argument is another data type, or it's another data structure. That's what you wanted to see. Wait, let me run the code.
Okay.
I'm not running the code.
It's okay.
It printed hello Brandon Akumado. It printed this list, right? So here I was showing you guys that you can take a list and put it inside the function through these parameters. Then inside your function, then you can now use this parameter to work with the list.
Okay, I understand. I understand it perfectly. So line 13 and 44, those were arguments, but different types of arguments.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, I understand. I understand that now. What if we did not have those arguments? What was going to happen if we had just line 9, we created our function username, then line 10 print hello, and then we call our function we call the username function without those arguments? What was going to happen? Maybe if you can just explain without having to print it. Or you want to print it, it's okay.
Yes. If you see it, then it's going to be much better for you. Okay. I'm now running the code. As you can see, on line 13, I'm calling the function without an argument, right?
Yes, that's true.
Now running the code. We got an error. Username missing one required positional argument name.
Okay. At the moment we insert a parameter, it expects an argument.
Yes, that's true. So
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I understand so much.
Okay, so let's move on to line 16.
Line 16. We describe our function. The function is add, is it?
That's correct.
Then we inserted 2 parameters in that function.
That's correct.
Yeah. Then I understand that on line 17 you're adding those two. I don't know variables, 2 parameters, but still, the return function. The return function, is it only used, or the return word, or the return, I don't know, is it a variable? Is it only used when you insert 2 parameters in a function?
No. The return keyword, you only use it when you want to return something. When you have your function, you want your function to do a certain thing, then you take that result and do something totally different with that result somewhere. So sometimes you don't want your function to always print some things. You just want it to do a certain task, take the result of that task and put it somewhere else, and then continue with your workflow. Right. So because if we only use the print function, that means after printing, when we call the function, it's going to print, then it's done. Nothing else is going to happen. So with the return, we can add once we then we take the result of whatever of the function, then we add it somewhere else or do whatever we want to do with it somewhere else.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think I'm okay.
Okay, what about default parameters?
I'm not remember. I'm the one who actually raised my hand and repeated what the code was going to print. So I'm okay with from line 23. I'm okay.
So yeah, okay. All right.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Anyone else with a question? So no one. Yes.
When you obtain function, let's say tikuda kuti tidzosere kuti zvisina nyaya chokuita necalculate.
On this one,
Yes.
it now depends on your parameters on what it was supposed, on what are you expecting to do.
Okay.
Here it was just a basic use case of the return keyword. You can return it. Can return something like string, and then take the function and use it somewhere else.
Okay.
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, it's returning this function just adds a and b, right? You can make it return anything that you want to. You can return a string or anything what you want the function to return.
Let's create something like not it return with our teacher is Mr. Kumar.
Okay, let's see. Okay, that's not. Let me create another one.
We've created a function, return keyword is our feature is supposed to call the function.
Okay, let's see. Where is this one coming from? Oh. Let's see. Do you see it now, Alan? This time it returned the string, our teacher is Mr. Kumalo.
Yeah, I see.
You see?
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Kumar.
Yes.
So how is that different from the first function that we created? Because I understand you remember the first function that we created, it was on the second line, it had a print function. I think are they not similar?
No, these two are similar. But usually you are not going to use the return keyword for something as simple as this. Here I was just showing Mr. Allen that the return keyword can return anything that you want.
Okay. Okay, I hear you.
You
I
get
hear you.
it.
For example, for a calculator, in the case of the calculator, you cannot just use the print function,
Exactly.
is it?
Because you want to reuse that code. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, anyone with questions? Okay, let's create a simple task. Okay, class project, right? So we're going to create our function def calculate grade, and our parameter mark. Right. Yes, Mr. Changa.
No, it's okay. Now I can see what you're writing. I could only hear what you were writing, but I could not see the visuals. It's okay. I think my network was acting up.
If mark is greater than or equal to 80, return A. We still all remember how to work with if, elif, and else, right?
It's okay.
Return B. So elif mark is greater than or equal to, let's just say 50. 10 D. Else return fail. Okay, def display, let's say report. We're going to need name, mark, and the grade, right? So print, let's say backslash is big, backslash, no, backslash n student report. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. F mark F string name, that's name, print, okay, grade, okay. And then now we have our main program. The student name equals to input, enter student name, get dot strip, wait no, it's dot strip dot title, right? This student mark equals to it's float, right? Input, enter student mark, Right. Now we have to call the functions. Let's say we have student grade equals to calculate grade with the student mark. Right. So we now need to display the student report. So it's what display report. Okay, student. We started with what? Okay, student name. Okay, student mark and student grade. Right. Call the function to display the report. Call the function okay. One thing you guys should know is that the order matters. Here on display, on our function display report, we have name, mark, grade. So the order also matters when you're now calling that function. So always know that whatever you when you call the function, whatever on the start should be what you expect. If I swap these arguments, then that means the name is going to be the student mark, and then the mark is going to be the student name. Right? So the order matters. Okay. All right. Any questions before I run this code? Just by looking at the code. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Changa.
Yeah, it's not a question per se. Can you just like scroll up so that we can see the I just want to see the like the whole code. Yeah, from class project. It's okay. Now, yeah.
Okay. So I'm now running the code. Okay. Yes, Alan.
So this time we use display report, we don't print.
Yes, we just call that display report. Remember that the print statement, the print functions are all inside display report.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now running the code. Enter student name, let's say Brandon. Enter student mark, let's say 71. He printed mark 71, name Brandon, grade B. So this is the use of functions. We have our first function to calculate the grade to decide whether the user gotten A, B, D, or if they failed. Right. Then we have also another function just to print out the user details. So with a function, it helps us to break down our code to be able to so that you can easily debug it. Whenever you run your code and you see an error, you can easily break it down faster because you know that this error occurred at that function because that function was supposed to do 1, 2, 3, but it didn't. Okay. It also makes our code cleaner and more nicer. Okay. Any questions?
I have a question though. I don't know if you ever taught us about this. The first on under the display report, print and blah 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 blah. Is there any like formula to this thing? I saw it also on the other project we did, but I never got the chance to ask. Yeah, the print thing, that one.
Or
It just prints the student reports.
yes, and then it created a empty line on top. This
Like,
is
what
backslash n. It just creates this empty line. If you look at my terminal, enter student mark 71 and student report. There's this empty space. It was created by this backslash n.
Okay. It's okay, just that.
Or just that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, Alan.
Yeah, it's not a question per se. Can we add at least 3 subjects?
On this function?
Yeah.
We want the subjects to actually do what?
To, let's say, subject, or in a subject, maths, or is a mark, and then at the end also, kubudisira kuti subject yakati negrade yakati, subject yakati negrade yakati.
Okay, that one is part of the project. It's part of the continuation of this one. We'll now break it down nicely and put it into functions. So sorry, you are going to have to wait for that one.
Okay.
So Mr. Changa, to answer a question about this project, we're going to do it on Friday. So what we're going to do is going to break it down and then put it into functions.
Yeah, it's making some sense. It's making some sense. I wanted to add to what Mr. Alan, we have one Alan, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I understand. I'm just fine. I'm answered with your response to his question, but maybe I think what is possible with the lines of code that we have right now, we could on line 55. I don't know. I stand for guidance, Mr. Kumar. But
Yeah,
on
yes.
line 55, what was possible if we just wanted to do it, we could just say we could have just said subject is equals to input and your subject for one subject. I understand.
Yes, for one subject, yes.
Is it making sense?
Yes, it is.
Then we're going to get something like we're going to get something like Mark 71 name Brandon maths subject maths, but it was definitely for one subject, not for many subjects.
Yes, that's what.
I think for many subjects we were going to need a function.
Yes, for many subjects we now need to use a function and also a list.
Yes. Yeah. That was my contribution.
Okay. So, anyone with a question? So I guess we all now understand how to create a function and how to call it and how to work with a function, right? Or anyone who is struggling? Okay. So I guess you all now understand how functions work. Right. Okay, so this is the end of our lesson for today. We learned about how to create a function and how to call it, the return keyword, what else? Default parameters, a parameter, and arguments. And also did a mini project to see what you can actually do with a function. It's not just a return a plus b or just the print statement. It's actually more complicated inside that function. There's more lines of code. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. If you guys don't have a question, then I guess I'll see you tomorrow 8 o'clock. sharp. Yes, more blessing.
Evening, everyone. My apologies. Mine is not a question, but it's maybe just an encouragement.
Okay.
Guys, with Python, it's more like mathematics. What you need to do is maybe after the lecture or whilst we are having the lecture, you also need to be trying to run the code and check the errors and also rectify them. I think that's how best and fast we can all learn. I think that's my word of encouragement for today. Thank you and good evening, everyone.
That's true. I agree with you. The more you run the code, and then you try to understand what happens, you change a few lines to see what's going to happen, then you are going to be able to actually understand what happens, or what this block of code does. If I change it with this, what's going to happen. In that way, you are going to easily master Python faster than anyone who just looks at the code and be like, okay, I now understand. Okay. So the more practice you make, the faster you get to master Python. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Alright, bye.
Share our code, please.